And we are recording. We are live. All right. So unfortunately, Ryan is unable to make it today due to some personal matters. So to start off today's council, we will need to elect a council chair. As I mentioned in the email I sent previous, if anyone of the councilors is interested in running for that position for this council, you would temporarily need to forfeit your position as a councilor to sit as the council chair. So at this moment, I guess we will open up the floor for anyone who would like to work themselves or someone to be the council chair for tonight's council. I guess if you're interested, please just send a message in the chat or just raise your hand if you would like to recommend yourself or someone. Nobody? Oh.
Yo, I'm down to do it.
Okay, so we got Liam Lowe. Cameron, Matt Gagne. Okay, cool. Cameron, I was going to answer your question, but I guess we have a couple individuals who would like to nominate themselves. But usually we'd have to fill someone. Cool. So we have Matt Gagne and sorry, not Cameron, Liam Lowe. Last call. Anybody else interested in recommending themselves or someone of council? Okay. Matt Gagne, Liam Lowe. Would you guys give a little, I guess, a little 30-second spiel on why council should choose you to play the role of chair for tonight?
You want me to go first? I guess I'm talking, so I'll just go. Yeah, I just figured since I'm just here on behalf of Kashi, I'll let the councilors do their role, and then I can step in and be council chair for tonight. I've been sitting on council for 2 years now, so I kind of know the lay of the land. So I'm more than happy to step in tonight.
Yeah, myself, same reason. Said like I was like, okay, I guess no one else is gonna do it, so I just stepped up. I'm a pretty good speaker.
Cool.
The beer's looking great, Liam.
Thanks, man.
Roses too. Don't worry. All right, just give me a quick second. I guess for time's sake, are both participants okay with having an election done through the chat?
That's fine with me.
Yeah. Okay. So Matt, I guess I'll just send a Google form with both your names, and then we'll go from there.
Good.
Hey, Farouk, if you want to just give it to Matt, go ahead.
Oh,
it's not a big deal.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right,
I'm in my house right now, so let me have it.
Okay, Matt Gagne, I guess it's yours.
All right, works for me.
Let's move forward.
Another one contested election.
Liam, thanks for offering to nominate yourself, though. I appreciate it. Matt, you're good to go.
Good to go. All right. So before we begin, just want to CUSA acknowledges that the ancestral and traditional territories of the Algonquin people, Algonquin Nation, whose territories we stand on today. And so yeah, welcome everyone to the August CUSA meeting and the CUSA Inc. meeting to come later. Yeah, I'm sorry Ryan couldn't make it tonight, but you're stuck with me. So now we're just going to move into the agenda. So now we're just going to go into announcements and correspondence. Anybody have any? I see none. All right, I need someone to approve the agenda. Okay, why am I not seeing the hands? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Thanks, Tinu. Someone to second it. Okay, Jordan. So all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. All right. I need someone to approve the past minutes. Thank you, Olivia. Someone to second? Thank you, Liam. All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Perfect, thank you. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the President's report. Take it away, Madam President.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Matt, for chairing today. Look forward to sharing everything we've been up to for the last month of summer. I hope you folks have all been enjoying it. So first on my report, I finalized the 2020-2021 CUSA strategic plan, which I'll present really briefly after my report. I also collaboratively wrote a letter and sent it to the faculty deans, as well as the president, the provost, and the vice president of students and enrollment, calling for asynchronous online classes. This is something that a lot of students had struggled with over the summer semester, classes being only streamed live, meaning it's difficult if you're in a different time zone or if you have extra responsibilities due to COVID. So thank you to the Grad Student Association, the Carleton Academic Student Government, the Rideau River Residents Association, the Carleton Student Engineer Society, the Sproul Business Student Society, and the Carleton Science Society, just saying them all, like, because I know sometimes it gets confusing, who all, like, signed on. So thank you so much to our partners. Finalized my budget for the year, as well as the CUSA budget, which will be presented later. I met with Susan Blanchard, who's the Vice President of Students and Enrollment. We talked about a few campus openings, including the first floor of UC and the UC, the first floor of the library and the UC for UPass renewal. We also talked about the Aramark contract, which has gotten some attention lately, divestment from fossil fuels, which I'll mention in a second, and academic accommodations. I also sat on the hiring board for campus security officers to ensure a student voice was present. I met with Dining Services and Sustainability Carleton to plan ways for sustainable eating on campus and just general education for our members. We composed and launched the annual general survey. Super exciting. We have over 500 responses, learning a lot about what students want to see for the year. So if you haven't, please go fill it out. You could win up to, you have the chance of winning $1,000 towards your tuition in these difficult times. That goes a long way. So looking forward to sharing with council the results of the survey as well. And then been helping with some summer orientation webinars as well with CU 1001. Ongoing projects, regular meetings with the SEO. CUSA helped prepare care packages for international students who are quarantining, regular meetings with Michael Charles from Equity, Diversity, and Inclusive Communities. And we're working on the EDI action plan for Carleton, regular meetings with UOSU and GSA, regular meetings with the campus security director, Brian Billings. We've also been opening service in minimal capacity. You'll hear more about that. And also working on, some Aramark contract modifications. Some student groups have come forward asking for us to terminate our contract with Aramark. If you have any expertise or engagement in that topic, please speak to me. It's quite a hefty project, but definitely an interesting one. For the month ahead, I'll continue to promote the annual general survey in order to get as much feedback as possible from students. This is part of our goals for the year. We'll also have fall orientation events coming up. You'll hear a lot about that. Residence move-ins. We're beginning the divestment campaign. For those of you who aren't aware, divestment is a concept where we ask the university to sell their investments in fossil fuels. It's an environmental stance, and so we're going to be starting to work with some student groups on campus, such as Climate Action Carleton, Student Energy Carleton, who are launching this campaign. So if you see anything about it, feel free to get involved. It's super exciting and powerful. So we definitely need student engagement on that issue. We'll also be participating in the ISSO's International Student Welcome event, and CUSA will be sitting on the hiring board for an equity officer at the SEO. So that's it for my report. Always love to chat. Please set up a meeting with me. Even just if you want to discuss something personal, how to get more involved, or what your club or society is doing, love to chat. We can definitely help. So that's it for my report. Can we go to the strategic plan?
Sure.
So on the strategic plan, this has been a challenge to put together for the year, considering literally we find out new things every day, and our plans are constantly changing. But I will do my best to give you an overview of our vision for the year, hopefully some things you can get excited about. And this fits into CUSA's larger 4-year strategic plan, which was made back in 2019. You can check it out on our website, and then obviously the 2020 well, so you can refer. So please go to the overarching goals. So we've set 7 goals. 1, optimize internal documents and processes. 2, grow CUSA's value and assets. 3, engage CUSA's membership through diverse programming. 4, enrich CUSA's community relationships. 5, foster relationships with student groups to increase engagement. 6, create lasting solutions for student issues. And 7, increase transparency by collecting quantitative feedback and publicizing regular reports. So if we can scroll down, I'll just read the headings for each goal and spare you all the subheadings, but please check it out when you get a chance. So for number 1, we have adapt and update CUSA operations and documents. This focuses around updates needed to our structure, especially with COVID and being online. Number 2, update financial processes, mostly a modernization that's needed at CUSA. For number 2, we have revised CUSA business models to increase programming and bring in revenue, especially with COVID. This is something that we have been needing to do, and obviously changes all the time because we definitely face some challenges for our businesses for this year. We can keep going. Number 3, engage CUSA's membership programming. We have 3 sub-items. So create diverse online programming, create a clear pathway for student involvement, and utilize social media to maintain and build relationships with students. Next. So 4 is enrich CUSA's community relationships. So we want to engage with the Ottawa community and be present at community events. Graduation by job hunting and opportunities to gain work experience. Number 5, we have, I'm getting some feedback. I don't know. Okay, I'll continue. Support clubs and societies. through helpful resources in a virtual setting, strengthen relationships with student groups. Keep going. Brooke, I think maybe I'm getting some feedback through you. Maybe, do you mind muting? Okay, thanks. So 6, create lasting solutions for student issues. This is a huge priority for us. So number 1 is advocate to Carleton's administration on student issues, including sustainability, accessibility, and mental health. We'll also be hosting our student issue campaigns. Stay tuned for some exciting changes to them, including Indigenous Celebration Month and Respect the Side Hustle. Obviously, we're adapting those, so they'll be modified, but that's kind of what we're looking to do. And then next, we have address financial challenges, COVID-related and otherwise, and improve outreach and services for underrepresented groups and Indigenous students. And then final goal, number 7, is increase transparency among the association and the student body. So we're planning to gather quantitative feedback and report to Carleton admin. So obviously the survey is part of that. And then finally, improve the level and quality of reporting to students. So that's the strategic plan for the year. Looking forward to bringing council in and accomplishing these goals with you. Let me know if you have any questions.
All right, thank you, Kathleen. Definitely a lot of exciting things coming up with school a week and a half away. So now we're going to move on to the VP reports. First up, the money man himself, Jacob Howell. Take it away.
What is up, everyone? My name is Jacob, as you know. We'll quickly run through my report because I do know we have a bit of a longer meeting, hopefully not tonight, but we got a couple things to run through. So in the last month, CUSA 2020-2021 operational budget. So myself, Travis, the finance office, as well as some other partners within CUSA. We've come together to put together the operational budget as we do every year. So we're presenting that in CUSA Inc. Another thing as well is Kathleen kind of mentioned a little bit, Roosters is now open. We have bag of witches, we have the menu rolling. You can come by and you can pick up some Roosters if you're, I don't know, like in the area on campus. And we did have the university come by and inspect our space to make sure that it does meet the COVID health and safety guidelines within the department of the university.
Like she specifically says like don't invest it into this one. She like still gives you the option. She's like this is an option. She's like no mutual fund. She's like index fund. Like invest in those and those stuff. I think
Fanny, I accidentally unmuted yourself.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. All good. No worries. Yeah, so Roosters is open and operational. Ollie's is a bit of a different story with a bit of contention there. We are equally prepared for the COVID standards that we have in Oliver's, but the university is not in favor of opening that space at this time. So we're going to continue those conversations because we do value the space it does provide for students, but as well as the jobs that it provides on campus. So we're really trying to make sure that we can open up that space to, at the very least, keep student employment going on campus and all those things. We had a meeting with student care and the university admin in regards to Empower Me and the relationship we have there, and how to better promote it and get it used on campus. Been having weekly managers meetings for the CUSA businesses as per usual. Student union building, so pretty exciting topic that we've been getting a lot of positive feedback on. We're in the initial stages of consultation, which happened in the annual general survey. So we got some good feedback there. And we continue to seek feedback and kind of consultation for a long time on that. So we're just going to dive deeper into that. Do some workplace evaluations, both personally and with the staff as well. And we also acquired, we donated supplies for a quarantine care package. So we dropped those off last week and we're able to provide that so that those students have a little something from CUSA. Ongoing project, student union building. So this one's going to be on my reports for a while. And basically we're just going to dive deeper into our consultations with students at large and then move on to different student groups and other groups on campus and see what we put this as well as collective. student care legal service plans. We've had a opportunity to meet with student care very briefly about that, and we have another follow-up, I believe, next week to go over that plan and whether it's an effective suit for Carleton students or not. CUSA delivery service as well, still work in progress, but especially now more than ever, if we are unable to open ollies for the remainder of the school year, so we can at least try and do something in there. Lastly as well, we partnered again with the SEO and putting it on SOAR to bring a speaker. Can't really talk too much about that quite yet, but we think you guys will love the speaker we have and that the SEO is able to bring. So yeah, with the month ahead, UPass, for all of you that will not be using UPass, do not forget, if you are learning from a distance, to opt out of your UPass. We had those conversations with the university admin and then transfer over to OC Transpo. So virtually anybody taking virtual course that's not in Ottawa or using the bus system, you can opt out of UPass and save yourself a couple $100 there. Frosh Week we got coming up with move-ins, virtual Frosh Week and all that jazz. Sub-consultation as per usual. And then we will also be having conversations about CUSA spaces and the rent, if we are going to have our spaces closed, such as Oliver's for the year, and what that translates to how students' money is being spent in regards to the university. You'll see a bit more of that in budget chat. As always, you can reach out to me, vpf@cusaonline.ca, or hit me up on Facebook, social media, or if you find another way to contact me, then congrats. I'm surprised. So there you go.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. Now we're going to move on to the VPI himself. Take it away, Farouk.
Hope you're all doing well. So for the past month, we shot an introduction video for Frosh to all our new Ravens. Obviously, this is an unprecedented time, so we want to make sure they're feeling welcome and still having an experience in their first years. Like Jacob mentioned, we had coworker evaluations. Those weren't really smooth, always looking for new ways to just improve our works and our daily lives here at CUSA to make sure CUSA is always getting better, and that always results in better services for the students. Budget, past month we did my portion for the Vice President Internal to help Jacob complete the budget. SIF allocations, we had a meeting last month. Thank you to Cameron, Nicholas, and Halima for joining us on that. Unfortunately, we only had one, which kind of makes sense, but we always look to support students. So if you know any students doing any extracurricular events that you think would always benefit the Carleton community, please let them apply for SIF. Our next deadline is October 31st. Trivia nights, we had a bunch of amazing trivia nights, a lot of giveaways, had amazing times for all the students who attended. We did one with SPSS and hosted one with SciSoc. That was really nice connecting with my fellow science students. Student care executive orientation. I know Jacob spoke about that a bit. Swag shop, we did a little photo shoot for it. Photos are amazing. I know Morgan has an amazing announcement for you all upcoming, so stay tuned for that. Ongoing, we have elections preparations, just brainstorming, preparing for the upcoming CUSA elections. As things are looking, it's going to definitely be a online election, so we're just looking at the rules and regulations that we may want to apply, looking at new systems, how can we make sure it's organized and every person who puts themselves forward as a candidate is still receiving the same exposure as everyone else. Promises, new CUSA Hub. It is almost ready to be launched. It is beautiful. I got to see it again. The upgrade's amazing. I think clubs and club executives are absolutely going to love using it. And it's a new platform. Just so first-year students or students who are looking to get involved can definitely access and definitely will enjoy. CUSA Council Instagram. So it's a new motion I'll be presenting afterwards. We're going to be electing officers. I'll speak about that later on. Headshots, we are providing a photographer either next week or the following week. So we can provide counselors with headshots, whether we'll be using it for our council Instagram and our website. But again, you can always use it for your LinkedIn or whatever you like. If you are not in town or unable to make it, any headshot of that you have would definitely be appreciated. Vacant council seats. Again, as every month goes by, we try to fill our vacant seats either for our committees or the last special student seat that we have. Again, if you know anyone looking to get interested, please just let them email me. I will continue sending out emails before council just to notify you of what openings we do have. We have graphics coming out that we'll be posting on the council Instagram, though I'll be tagging you and hopefully you can share it as well. Club preparations, school is less than 2 weeks away, so clubs are kicked back in again. So just helping with the new execs transition, especially with these unprecedented times. It's super difficult. So we have that going on. We have bank letters as they transition the VP finances, and just frequently ask questions. A lot of new execs this year, so it's always nice to see new students stepping up and taking the roles of past people. So just a lot of preparations for clubs and societies. Counselor meetups was one of my policy points. So what I've been preparing is basically we'll be making faculty emails, one for every respective faculty. So students can always email that. Every counselor in the respective faculty will have access to that email. And then they can just respond. And if any student would like to meet up, we will be allocating a coffee budget for you and the student. So when you do meet up, you can at least enjoy a cup of coffee. For the months ahead, CEO job postings. So this year, we'll be definitely be hiring a CEO much earlier than we often do. This just helps us prepare the writ, make any necessary edits, any necessary rules and regulations, since it is going to be virtual. And the sooner we hire, the sooner we can also promote the elections, which just means more exposure to the students. Students are more informed, and we just prepare them better. Capstone Research Project Fund was something I began last year. Just want to bring it to people's attention as students go into their final years. They may have a research project or a capstone project. So if they need any financial assistance, please do let them apply. It can be found on the CUSA website. So yeah, please spread the word. Clubs Expo. So we're working with SCH Form to prepare a platform. My apologies, not a platform. Just students can, clubs can hop on, go live, students can attend, just be informed of what clubs we have on campus, what those clubs provide, and how they can get involved. Clubs Conference is an annual workshop that we hold where we just we welcome all the new execs, give them everything they need to know about what it takes to be an exec, all the services we provide. Usually in person, but this year definitely online. So thanks to Sam, who is now our clubs, working in the clubs office. We will be doing online modules. So everything that we would have taught in that conference would be available through the modules where execs will be required to complete. And then we'll be hosting a virtual meeting just to answer some questions. We do understand that a lot of students are either here or back home. So with different time zones, we'll be hosting different sessions at different times throughout the day, just to be able to accommodate to all the students, regardless of where they are. Clubs funding, yes, it will still be happening. We're aiming towards the second week of September or the third. This year we're doing a little bit different since it is virtual. There'll be a Google Form club. Executives are required to fill out prior to, I guess, the Zoom interview meeting. And then from there, it will be going as usual. And then obviously we have Frosh upcoming. So looking forward to that, and just meeting new students, meeting new Ravens, and helping them in their transition into Carleton. So very excited about that. Usually one of my favorite moments throughout the year. So if you have any questions, any concerns, please reach out to me at vpi@cusaonline.ca. There was my phone number, but I think it'd be easier for you to reach me on Instagram at Farouk Al. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Farouk. Next up, we have our lovely VPSI, Tinu. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope everyone is still has some energy left, especially for the upcoming school year. So we'll just get right into it. So past month, everyone has already mentioned it. It was photo shoot season. It was lovely. I even need to change the capital U. It's Capital Collective now. Can't get it twisted, but obviously Morgan will speak more on that. We did 2 video shoots. One had to do with General Frosh and ENRICH, as previously mentioned. So now we'll go into the before play ask schedule for again, tomorrow for September. So I know it's a little bit skewed here, but I still wanted to give you all a visualization of what the month is going to look like. The social media calendar as well. So this is just a quote unquote physical events. So our first event will happen on September 9th, and that will be a virtual art exhibition. For those who are not too familiar, or for those who have been on our CUSA Instagram and Facebook, you would know that we sent out basically art submission type of call out, just basically having any artist or artists to be who have basically created any pieces that embody pain, beauty, resilience, gender-based violence, and so much more. And with that, we basically curated a very beautiful virtual art gallery, so you will be able to actually click through and look into it, which is so cool. September 15th, we have tradition here at CUSA and at Carleton, so hope to see people participate there and get some fun stuff. The 17th, very tentative. Ozzy may look at it or not, but I did this calendar before a few announcements. So drive-in movie, hopefully. And then in the next week, it's basically a Survivor Speaks week. So we have Survivor Speaks with GSRC, which is our Gender Sexuality Resource Center. We have Survivor Speaks again with RISE, which is our Racialized International Students Experience Center. Mouthful. And then we have a pause. We have a sex and disability workshop, and that's in collaboration with CDAC, which is another one of our service centers. And then lastly, we take a break on Thursday. We have a general Survivor Speak ceremony, which is happening on the 25th, and that's going to be live streamed as well. And then the last event for September will be our digital safety for survivors. So that's in partnership with Equity. And that's where we're going to discuss the nitty gritty of gender-based violence and sexual violence, but obviously through virtually, especially with the times. So that's for September. Hope to see you all there. Please look into our Instagrams, our personals, or the CUSA ones, because we may have some fun stuff coming along and fun prizes to win as well. To move on, Pop the Stigma, that's October. It's coming, it's here. Pop the Stigma, for those who don't know, it's our mental health awareness campaigns. What happened in couple of weeks, we're doing a men's mental health campaign. Cash is part of it as well, so Matt will know about it. We're going to connect soon on that. Kuro classes, which is wellness classes. It has to do with yoga and so much more. November, Respect the Side Hustle. So that's financial literacy, but for our upcoming entrepreneurs out here. So that's in collaboration with Morgan. So continuous meetings with potential events and speakers, and obviously more to be announced. Also in the past week, I also was in a meeting with one of the BOG reps, Nathaniel Black, and we talked about our anti-racism task force that he wants to launch as well, and it's looking pretty good. Obviously, there's more to come, and I'll touch upon that in another point that I'm about to make. I also attended the CFS Ontario General Meeting, which was last week. It was 3 days long, all 6 hours per day. It was fun, to be honest. But there's from what I took out of it, to basically summarize the whole 3 days, we had elections. So for those who don't know what the CFS is, it's a Canadian Federation of Students. So think of it as CUSA, but for the whole of Canada. And yeah, we just had elections, and there was a lot of motions that were passed stuck out for me. First, I'd like to say a content warning and a trigger warning as well. It has to do with police brutality and death. So what was very notable was that an emergency motion was pushed, and the motion is regarding the SIU report of Regis Kurjansi Paquette, who was a 29-year-old Afro-Indigenous woman who fell to her death May 27, 2020. So for those who don't know, the SIU concluded that there are no reasonable grounds upon it and basically did not indict the officers. There was outcry, and honestly, there was a lot of news sources that said there wasn't sufficient any evidence to even pose a judgment. So we urged to pass a motion, I alongside U of T as well, to basically get the Federation to write a letter condemning this and pushing for defunding of police and putting in more mental health officers to deal with mental health situations and crisis workers. So that was done, and it was passed. So hopefully we'll get a letter from them very soon. To move on, went to Equity's community-wide engagement session for all faculty, staff, and students on racial justice. It was a great panel. You all should really look out on Equity. It had one of our past alumni on it, Nate Behar, for those who don't know. Really great, really insightful. We also had the EIC advisory group meeting. So that was basically about seeing a 5-year plan on how we could actually include and improve our equity, diversity, and inclusion here on campus. And next month, actually, I'll discuss more on what that entails because there's some big things and big changes happening. But my report is already pretty long. Again, anti-oppression module for all CUSA services. So obviously in lieu of certain events, we want all CUSA clubs, all CUSA services, anything that has to do with CUSA to always have an anti-oppression type of training at the beginning of everything. So if you were to run for council next year, before you even start your positions, you will need some type of anti-oppression training. So we're in the works of that. We did campaign meetups, climate and indigenous platform, that's with Kathleen. Working on a few campaigns for next year. We had an introduction with the Muslim Student Association. I have filmed an Inclusion Week video that has to do with equity, so you'll see more on that. And then as I previously said, work closely with CUAC to execute our virtual art exhibition, and had various meetings with working groups. And thirdly, before I conclude, just a first-year mentorship. We have peer support training. It's great that we're going to be mentors to first years. Did our monthly GSA checking alongside Kathleen, and had a student care. Oh, that was supposed to be. Wait, yeah, we had that. So moving on to ongoing projects, is going to be shorter. Don't worry, everyone. We'll continue to work on campaigns. First semester is very smooth. Following up with the university on some of the events that we have planned to take a hybrid shape. So this will also include a discussion of how in-person and physical events are going. Farouk, can you please scroll down? Merci beaucoup. And then work on academic accommodations as previously said, because obviously it's a new global climate and new academic climate as well. So for the month ahead, obviously finalizing events for Pop the Stigma, continue to follow up with academic accommodations and pop-up clinics. The actual flu season is coming up, so we would like to have some type of mechanism to not only obviously stop the spread of COVID, but actual flus as well, because it's going to be very hard to differentiate the two. And also, as I said, the anti-oppression module, which is very important to me. So I know this is long and winded, but I feel like the more detailed and the more transparent, the better. So if you have any questions, comments, insights, you could email me, bpsi@cusaonline.ca, or Instagram at Tinuvelli. And there's my number as well. However, that may not be used because of the current circumstances. So yeah, thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, let me know.
Awesome. Thank you, Tino. Definitely COVID is not slowing down the Student Issues Office this year. So moving on to VP CE, Morgan, take it away.
Hi, everyone. So I'll just get right into it. Over the past month, we've had a couple CUX committee. Wow, I can hear a lot of feedback. So we've had a couple of communications committee meetings, and for those that may not know, CUX is a big collaborative initiative between all the different stakeholders on campus or different departments and student groups on campus. So in those meetings, we decided to do an introduction video with all the stakeholders. You might have seen it posted already by the SEO. We've posted it raw. So essentially, if you need any information about programming, it'll all be in one centralized space on the CUX website. Moving on to service centers. So I have one-on-ones with all the service center coordinators and the service center manager, Adele, and just keeping tabs on what they're up to. So some of the things are their Frosh events that they'll be running, as well as helping them prepare for the virtual like Clubs Expo, and helping them with their fall programming. But most of them actually have their programming almost done, almost finalized. So it's really nice to see that the service centers will still be able to provide a lot of value despite being virtual. And I've also spent a while doing service center coordinator hirings because we had a number of vacancies, and Ozzy was able to help out with that as well, which was really nice. And now we're in the onboarding phase of the new coordinators, so it's very exciting. I also attended my first meeting with the Carleton Community Engagement Steering Committee. So that one is run by the university admin, and the topic of the past meeting was mostly about the SEOs, like campus to community, and what that will look like moving forward. So it'll be quite different. We are also, as Kathleen mentioned in the strategic plan, we're acting as mentors this year with the First Year Connections program that's led by the SEO. And we just did our training for that, and we'll be getting our mentees soon, which is really exciting. One of my projects, the Brand Ambassador Program, we had applications open finally and recently closed. So now I'm going through applications, and we'll be doing hiring for that. We also relaunched the street team. So we have a brand new process and a lot of new responsibilities and ways to engage with street team members, because I thought that would be really important to still give students the opportunity to volunteer with CUSA for those that are interested. And I tried to build the responsibilities around. Still want to bring that sense of community and give students the opportunity to meet other like-minded individuals. Now, one of the most exciting things, so I said the swag shop, aka Capital Collective. So that is what it's called. That is how I'll be referring to it. Which is really exciting, and it looks amazing. So we're able to do a photo shoot. And my special announcement that Farouk mentioned is that all of the counselors will be getting one free piece of merch from the Capital Collective. So following, yeah, everybody's going to be decked out in our nice merch. Yeah, it's very exciting. So after council today, I will be sending out a Google form, and essentially the way that it works, because also all of the merch is very limited. So we only have 3 pieces, and there's only 50 in total of each. So that being said, everybody will pick out they will rank which items you'd like to receive. And from there, I'm going to try my best to be cognizant of sizing and like the inventory that we do have, because we don't have 50 of each size. We have 50 in total, so lots of organization on my part. But like I said, I will send out, it is men's sizing. Yes, good to know. I'll note that to you. That being said, I will send the form out after council tonight. And I would really like everybody to fill out the form by Wednesday at midnight, the latest. So yeah, make sure you get that done. And for your choices, it's first come, first serve. So I'll be able to see who fills out the forms quicker. Yeah. Are there any, well, I guess it's really exciting to finally see everything come to fruition. And I'm really excited to see everybody rock our gear. Yeah. Okay. So the last thing that I did over the last month was also the 6 words IG contest. So the 6 words to describe our COVID summer, and that went really well. Aussie also support me with that. And there were some really, really entertaining answers, needless to say. Can I get some free merch? Aussie, yes. All right, Farouk, can you scroll down a little bit, please? And in the last month, I did cut my hair and I have bangs now. So ongoing projects, the launch of the Capital Collective. So that'll be at the forefront of my work. Service centers, just the programming for the fall, because it'll be a packed semester still. The street team welcome event, like I mentioned, I have a huge emphasis on creating a more engaging culture with the street team members. I feel like they were undervalued in the past, so I want to make sure that we can make a memorable and impactful experience for them. things I've already mentioned, the brand ambassador hiring and onboarding, the partnership for the mentorship program. So I will be acting as a student ambassador for the alumni mentorship program through the advancement office. And the mentorship program will be a collaborative initiative with the advancement office and CUSA. So that's really exciting. And applications for that will be opening in September. So make sure you keep an eye out for those. I'm also working on the Financial Literacy Month programming or Respect the Side Hustle programming with TNU. So one of the biggest things that I'm working on is our Startup Fest. So that's a pretty big event coming up. And then also Brunch is on Us. So our virtual brunch / discussion to gain feedback and learn more about. So I'm hoping to have one of those in September, almost as a check-in after the first couple of weeks of school. And yeah, Farouk, can you scroll down, please? Months ahead, relaunching the TikTok. I know it's been a little quiet. The ways that I would like to engage with the street team, ongoing engagement with the street team. That, as you can see, that is a big priority for me. The Capital Collective next collections are already looking at the future. And then the CUSA Marketplace platform and implementation and swag shop order fulfillment process in next collection. Clearly, it's really important to me because I put it there twice. If you have any questions, you can always reach me by email at bpce@CUSAonline. Or I don't have my Instagram handle there, but my Instagram handle is Morgan Shanru. You can figure out how to type it. But you can feel free to DM me there. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Morgan. I'm just gonna put it out there. I will forfeit my compensation for my services tonight for reservations for the next collection of a Ravens Collective. Carlton, I don't want to have that last season stuff, so I'm just gonna put it for the next one. Say no, Morgan. Thank you. Next up, we have Osman with his VPSO.
What's up? What's up? Hope everybody's doing well. The best thing about being last is that everybody already said what you're gonna say, so I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet, so I won't keep a lot of your time. So my past month, strategic planning virtual workshops, kept it the same. So working on some events and social media campaigns. We finished filming for Frosh, so we have some fun videos, Frosh, and regular Frosh. Hopefully you'll see them on our socials as well. Discuss collaborations throughout the year. So basically I looked at how students can enjoy events while it's still online, just due to the fact that the way Carleton's going, they want to do completely everything online. So just making sure we can keep that sort of engagement that we've seen in past years online at this time. Met with the university to discuss having certain events on campus. Right now, they do not plan on having really much on campus, an event in the event sort of way, just because COVID-19 and the precautions around it, which is obviously very fair. Continued my CUX meetings and discussed collaborations amongst those stakeholders. So CUX already been talked about a bit earlier, and a few other councils earlier. So CUX is pretty sick. We're just collabing with many stakeholders, having one centralized spot for it all. So yeah, just discuss with that. SEO meetings. So the SEO has been basically just, talking about Frosh, talking about what we could do during the year. Collaborating with Raw for future events for students. So we're doing first year Fridays in collaboration with Raw throughout the year. So that will be bi-weekly every Friday for incoming students. And we have another fun things for you that I've probably mentioned a bunch of times. We had trivia with SPSS and SciSoc. So I passed my my hosting reign to Farouk for the SciSoc one. And I could just say I'm the better host. I just got to say it out loud. We hired for service centers. So I just sat on the interviews alongside Morgan and Mustaf actually was here. And yeah, that's my past month. So what's ongoing? So technically Frosh is still ongoing just because we actually have not done it yet. It's actually happening the next week to 2 weeks. So just finishing the last little touches on it, but we finished almost everything. So the schedule is out. The CUSA planning events is out. The Frosh open house for service centers is out. So we're good to go. Met with Labot. So Labot's it's the big company that runs a lot of other companies in brewery basically, and met with them to discuss future collaborations, especially with essentially how to do safe usage of basically alcohol, in their case beer, so just safe usage of it. Finished programming calendar for fall semester, so that is done. I just need to release it for you all to see, so I'm gonna get it done with. Game night Tuesdays, wellness Wednesdays, drive-in Thursdays were unfortunately canceled, so we came up with a new idea. So service center Thursdays. Service centers are very important, so we want to do a spotlight on them because we know students depend on them. So we're gonna have every single other Thursday, a service center Thursday in which we just give a spotlight for different service centers. And then first year Fridays, as mentioned earlier. CUX, we're gonna have a monthly calendar for all events in one centralized space. Month ahead, online programming. All equipment has been ordered, so I've ordered a bunch of things that are needed for online programming. Unfortunately, due to COVID, it's been delayed a bit, but everything should be there the next 2 to 3 weeks. The live stream equipment that we bought before is being delayed also due to COVID. So just waiting on that to come through, but they said it should be out by September 6th, September 8th. So hopefully it'll be there. Programming calendar as well. So that has been made. Just need to release it to the students. Finished Rosh, all logistics are basically complete. Now it's the execution phase, so getting done with it. Yeah, continues meeting with DNA. So DNA is basically a company that runs a lot of colors and live with that. I'm trying to look into a way to do it in another sort of fashion. So I met with Lansdowne Live, who has done drive-ins throughout the summer, and we're trying to make a way how we can get discounts for Carleton students and provide hopefully discounted tickets for students, so Carleton students can go to a drive-through still at the end of the day and have that sort of benefit that they deserve. Lastly, free trials. So same thing, we're giving students new ways to explore new hobbies and new opportunities, whether it's providing discounts for students during these times because they are especially important, or whether it's just coming with fun new free trials that students can enjoy, and opportunities such as job opportunities and networking chances, which Morgan's been taking care of great. So that's all for me. If you want to reach me, vpsl@cusonline.ca. If you want to reach me even in an easier way, Instagram, Osman Omi, just slide my DMs, really easy. And yeah, have a wonderful day.
All right, thank you, Ozzy. I appreciate you summarizing all your fellow VP's reports at the same time. We appreciate that. But yeah, that's it for the VP reports. So with that, we're going to move on to Raw. Is there a Raw report?
Yeah, I'm going to let my VPA Sash kick this one off. He's here.
Hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so just going over what we're doing. We just finished hiring staff for our store extensions. We plan to have it open by this Friday. We just hired 13 new staff members, hired a new store manager and assistant manager, and things are looking good. We have to still wait for the university to do their final inspection, but that should be Thursday, and by Friday we hope to be open and fully operational. Yeah, and for Frosh, I think Jay would be the best to go over that.
So yeah, as Morgan mentioned, we kicked off the launch of CUX, which was really exciting. We're preparing for fall orientation, which commences next week. We have 4 events planned. We're doing speed mingling, TikTok dance class, executive feud, which is like family feud, but we're calling it executive feud because it's in partnership with CUSA. And then we're doing a drag queen show as well in collaboration with CUSA. And then residence movement begins this Wednesday, which is very exciting. We have our international students already moved in and quarantining in building, and then our other students move into residence Wednesday through Sunday. Sadly, move-in looks a bit different this year as we aren't allowed to hand out any merch or really engage with students, but it will be nice to see faces regardless, even if it's from a distance. And then yeah, if you have any questions, you can reach me at president@raw.ca or at jslaughter on Instagram.
All right, thank you, Jaden and Sash, for the updates. Is there a GSA report tonight? Seeing none. We got to hear from these guys. All right, next up is the cashier report. Pierce, you want to hop in?
Oh my. Oh, turn yours off. There we go. Sorry, we're in the same room. It's been a bit of an issue tonight. Hello, thanks everybody. So for CASHI, we've been working on a few things. Currently, we're working with the Senate to get a grade reform passed to change how our grading is at Carleton within the next, like forever, past this year, not just COVID, sorry. And yeah, we're just kind of leaning on that right now. We actually have a Google form posted on our Instagram. There's a link in our Instagram if I'm not wrong. And if you just go there and fill that out, that'd be great. Lots of help for supporting this bill so we can get this passed and help Carleton students just get better grades hopefully and make it a bit easier for them to deal with adversity like we've learned through this pandemic. That's really it right now. We're working for options that are going to come up as well, which if you're interested in being part of council, please email our VPO in September when it's open. That will also probably be a post on our Instagram and our Facebook. And the gift card giveaway that we're doing later this week as well. Look out for that on our Instagram as well. We're going to be giving out gift cards because we are going to be giving out gift cards to Haven's bookstore, thanks to CUSA. And we're going to be giving out 4 gift cards for books all through Haven's or whatever, anything you want there. And yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you, Pierce. Lovely stuff going on at CASHI. Is there a Senate report tonight? Seeing none. Well, I guess no, I can't get the Senate report. But anyway, is there a Board of Governors report? Oh dear, no. Is there a constituency report? Are there any committee reports?
There was one for SIF committee. Kind of already spoke about it earlier. We did have one for the July 31st deadline. Unfortunately, but fortunately, we only had one application. So yeah, please spread the word. If any students are doing the extracurricular events, please do let them apply. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Farouk, for the info. Are there any items for information? And Farouk, if you don't mind scrolling down. No items for information. Okay. We're going to open up a question period. Are there any questions tonight? Anything the VPs might have had? Any of the other reports? Give it a couple seconds here. Okay, seeing none. Okay, we're going to move into other business. Is there anyone with other business tonight before we move into the table motions?
I have 2, if you don't mind.
Perfect. Go ahead, Farouk.
One, I kind of two motions quickly. The first one is to amend the agenda part 15B. I would like to scratch that part out as we don't have anything to amend on the bylaws. It was just a typo. So basically,
so I take it that's basically motivated it already. So we have to move into debate, I guess. Is there anyone with questions or debate about this motion? Seeing none. Okay, all in favor? All right, folks, get those hands up. You got to meet quorum. All right, any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion passes. You may remove 15B.
All right, sorry, my second motion, I would like to present a motion to be added onto the agenda.
All right, what is said motion?
Said motion is a motion to elect a CUSA Council Instagram officers. Presentation summary, whereas CUSA Council Instagram is managed by the Vice President Internal and the CUSA Communications Office, information transfer, be it resolved that CUSA Council void to appoint the following positions: a CUSA Council Instagram lead officer and a CUSA Council Instagram coordinator. I guess I'll motivate this myself. Basically, we want to empower some of the counselors to have a say and kind of to be involved in how the council Instagram is handled and what is posted, and to kind of be the liaison between us and the counselors. The difference between the lead officer and the coordinator is the lead officer will just be more in charge of it, and the coordinator will be there to assist as well. So this was kind of planned around the fact that maybe one counselor will have more time to give into the role, whereas the other one would still like to be involved and just has less time on their hand to offer.
Okay, thank you, Farouk. So any questions about the motion, any debate about the motion? And is your hand up from just past votes or just still up from, yeah, or do you have a question? Okay, thank you. Pierce, is your hand up from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we nominating people tonight? You're muted, Farouk.
Sorry, yeah. We can table it if needs be, but the motion was brought forward just to elect individuals into these roles.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Any other questions or debate on this topic before we motion to vote? Okay, we're seeing none. All right, all in favor of motioning to elect CUSA Council Instagram officers? All right, I see half of council has fallen asleep. Do we need to do the alarm thing again? All right, any opposed? Jordan, don't play with me, bro, I will. Influencers to the council. Oh, that would have been nice during questions and debate, Osman. Anyway, okay, any abstentions? All right, motion passes. We are electing CUSA Council Instagram officers. Okay, now Farouk, does that go to the bottom of the agenda or do we just jump into picking them now?
I can include it either or, it's up to you. We can throw it on the bottom, it's fine.
Oh, no. Hello? Farouk?
Sorry, am I muted? No. I said I'll throw it on the bottom.
I had my laptop muted, little boomer moment there. Does this go to the top of the agenda now or to the bottom?
Bottom.
The bottom? Okay. Okay, so if you mind just scrolling down a little more. Bring it up on my screen, okay. All right, so next up. Okay, next we have the motion to fill the vacant accessibility fund committee seat. So the summary, whereas CUSA needs to fill the accessibility fund committee for the 2020-2021 year, and whereas bylaw 8 section 3.0 states that the composition of the committee be A, VP Finance, B, the appropriate vice president, C, 4 students with disabilities, 2 CUSA counselors, and 2 students at large. Information transfer, be it resolved that CUSA Council vote to fill the committee with the following vacant seats: 1 student with a disability. Moved by Farouk Al-Mufli, seconded by Jacob Howe. Would you like to motivate this motion?
Yeah, unfortunately, one of the students who was sitting on this committee had to withdraw themselves due to some personal matters. So one position is open now. There was one student who was interested, but unfortunately, I don't see them in the meeting. I've messaged them about 30 minutes ago and still no response. So I guess maybe we should just table this to another time.
Okay, just to make sure, we're just gonna, is there anyone that wants to motivate any students they know that might have come in last minute that Farouk is not aware of? If not, we will just motion to table. All right, seeing none. All right, we're gonna motion to table this to September CUSA Council meeting. All in favor? Let's go, folks, wake up. Any opposed? Any? Will be. All right, next motion, please. Okay, motion to strike the Clubs and Societies Committee. Whereas CUSA needs to strike the Clubs and Societies Committee. Wait, is this not 15B? Oh no, never mind. That was the bylaw one. Never mind. And whereas the Clubs and Societies Committee must be filled at the first introduction meeting under bylaw 9, section 3.1D. And whereas bylaw 9, section 3.1 states that the composition of the committee be the Clubs and Societies Commissioners, the CUSA Vice President Internal, the CUSA Vice President Finance, 1 CUSA counselor, 4 delegates, 2 clubs, and 2 societies. 4 delegates, 2 from clubs and 2 from societies. Information transfer, be resolved that CUSA Council strike the Clubs and Societies Committee for the 2020-2021 school year. Moved by Farouk Al-Mufli, seconded by Jacob Howe. Would you like to motivate the motion, Farouk?
Yeah, so this committee and the following are ones that are filled during the club's conference. The counselor position is one that is a lottery, meaning we send out an email when the committee meets up and first come, first serve for the counselors. This committee is basically if there are just any issues going on with any club societies, or if any club or society just wants to, sorry, I blanked out. If any club or society's executives just want to speak on any matters going on or just voice their concerns or any opinions, this committee does meet up and discuss those before presenting to the council. Thank you.
Awesome, okay. Any questions or debate on the motion? Straightforward. Is your hand up from before, or do you have
I got a question. So what you're saying is like, how does it work? Because I'm interested in this one. So you just email you and then you're on it?
So when the committee is planning to meet, I will send out an email to all counselors and we will choose from there whoever responds.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
There's no election needed or
No,
possible?
For these ones, there's no elections because we don't really appoint a counselor, but there's a counselor seat that we choose at lottery.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Liam. Liam, your hand is still up. Do you have a rebuttal or something for Farouk? No, we're good. All right, Jacob, I see your hand is up. Do you have a comment? No, we're good. Okay, so without further ado, okay, motion to strike the Clubs and Societies Committee. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion passes. The Clubs and Societies Committee has been stricken. That's a word. All right, next up, we have the motion to strike the Club Societies Fund Committee. So whereas CUSA needs to strike the Club Societies Fund Committee, and whereas the Club Societies Fund Committee must be filled at the first introduction meeting under bylaw 10, section 3.1E, and whereas bylaw 10, section 3.1 states that the composition of the committee be the CUSA VP internal, the CUSA Vice President of Finance, the Club Societies Commissioners, one CUSA counselor, and a pair of, and 4 delegates, 2 from clubs and 2 from societies. Information transfer, be resolved that the CUSA Council strike the Club and Societies Committee for the 2020-2021 school year. Moved by Farouk, seconded by Jacob. Farouk, would you like to motivate the motion?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. So for this committee focuses on funding when it comes to club and societies. So the above mentioned are the ones who sit on the club's funding interviews and ultimately decide how much to allocate per club and society, as well as if any club or society has just concerns about funding. This is the committee they would meet prior to presenting those concerns, if needs be, to the council. And again, it's the same rules for the council position. Thank you, Matt.
Great. Any questions or debate for this motion? Seeing none. All right, motion to strike the Clubs and Societies Fund Committee. All in favor? Seeing even some execs have fallen asleep. There we go. Thank you, everyone. Okay, any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thanks, everyone. Motion passes. If you want to scroll down to the next one. Okay, this one's a book. All right. Okay, we have the motion to strike the Executive Compensation Review Committee. Presentation summary. Whereas bylaw 4, 3.6 reads, the Executive Compensation Review Committee shall undertake a thorough review of the executive compensation, make use of all relevant information from outside organizations, include in its research all relevant information from within the association and corporation, including but not limited to the budget, audited financial statements, and archive reports submitted by both the Financial Review Committee and the Executive Compensation Committee. The committee shall present its reports and recommendations for adjustments to council no later than the November meeting to be ratified by CUSA Incorporated. Submit a final copy of the report to both the Vice President of Finance and the CUSA Finance Manager. And whereas bylaw 4, 3.5 reads, the composition of the Executive Compensation Review Committee shall be as follows. 3 constituency representatives appointed by council, 3 students at large appointed by council, either the finance manager or general manager of CUSA and the CUSA VP Finance. And whereas bylaws 4, 3.7.1 read, CUSA Council shall no later than the December meeting make a final decision regarding the recommendations of the Executive Compensation Review Committee. CUSA Council shall, in both a meeting of the association and the corporation, put forth their final decision as a motion for the upcoming term. Information transfer. Be it resolved that the Executive Compensation Review Committee be struck for the 2020-2021 school year. Be it further resolved that the following committee positions be elected. 3 CUSA counselors and 3 students at large. Moved by Farouk, seconded by Jacob. Farouk, would you like to motivate the motion?
Yeah, this is one of the committees that has something to do with the CUSA elections. I decided to simply strike this one this month, which is a few months earlier than usual. Again, just because it is a virtual election, and also just to bring it on the radar of our counselors and give us time to promote it and give time for the counselors just to think about if this is something they'd like to join, only because there's a lot of time commitment to it. So just wanted to give counselors a fair amount of time to think about this before deciding for next council or the one after.
All right, thanks, Farouk. All right, any questions or debate on the motion or about the committee? second. Okay, seeing none. So motion to strike the Executive Compensation Review Committee. All in favor? All right, any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, vote passes. Okay, what's next? If you don't mind scrolling down here, flying blind right now.
Sorry, that was it.
That's it? Okay. Oh, okay, so then I guess that closes, that's gonna be the end of CUSA, the first CUSA Council. So in a motion to, oh, hold on. Okay, so we're gonna motion to adjourn. And then we're gonna have a 5-minute recess before the CUSA Inc. Starts. We're gonna start CUSA Inc. at 7:35. We're gonna have some water, do what you gotta do. And this is the budget for the upcoming year. We're going into an unprecedented year, guys. So please do not leave and not come back. This is the most important part of the night, honestly. So go take your break, and then we need you back here for 7:35. But first, we're gonna Sarah is going to motion to adjourn. Perfect. Thank you, Sarah. And I need a seconder. Thank you, Ferris. And all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. See you guys in 6 minutes.
Thank you so much, Mal.
Let's continue the recording. All right, everybody, welcome to CUSA Inc. This is our August meeting. Before I begin, as you know, during CUSA Council, Ryan was unable to attend. So again, I would like to, if no one has an issue with this, I'd like to motion to have Matt Gagne fulfill the role of council chair and forfeit his seat as Cash G representative for the CUSA Inc. meeting. Any questions or debates? No, it doesn't seem like it. Oh, by the way, sorry, councilors, you can raise your hand unless you all have questions, which I'd be really surprised. We got a bunch of Jacob, Kieran, Jaden, Aaron, Osmond, Mohammed, Morgan, Pierce. Please lower your hand if you do not have a question. Okay, I guess we'll continue to, we'll motion a vote. All in favor, please raise your hand. Sorry, all in favor to have Matt Gagne fulfill the role of council chair for CUSA Inc. All right. Can you please lower your hands? All right, any abstains? Please raise your hand. Doesn't seem to be any. Any opposed? Any abstains? Jeez, I almost said opposed twice. All right. I guess motion passes. Matt Gagne, please, if you don't mind.
Okay. All right. So once again, before we begin, CUSA Incorporated acknowledges that the ancestral and traditional territories of the Algonquin Nation in which this council is taking place on today. So first, I'm going to need someone. Actually, we're going to start with announcements and correspondence. Anyone with announcements and correspondence, please speak now. Forever hold your peace. Seeing none. All right, I need someone to approve the last meeting's agenda. Thank you, Sarah. Can someone second it, please? Thank you, Jordan. All right, all in favor of approving last agenda, please raise your hand. All opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. All right, I need someone to approve the past minutes, please. Thank you, Pierce. Can someone second the motion? Thank you, Noor. All right, all in favor of passing the last meeting's minutes? All opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion passes. And with that, we are going to move into the presentation of the the motion to adopt the 2020-2021 CUSA budget.
Sorry, my apologies, Matt. The motion to adopt is after the presentation.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, all right, yeah, so Jacob, you take it away, present us with the budget for the year.
So, all right, hello everyone. So it was the most wonderful time of the year, budget meeting. We did things a little bit different this year based on feedback from last year and just like some of the comments we've heard. Biggest thing being that budget meeting is boring and long, so we've tried to make it a little bit quicker for those of you there, and also a little bit confusing with all the different numbers. So we've really put some the numbers into more digestible areas. Travis as well is part of the meeting, big help on the budget there. So any questions, myself and him will be able to help out with those. And if you have like some really intense questions or like a lot of details, then we can meet afterwards as well, or like set up a meeting and have those conversations. So CUSA 2020-2021 operating budget. Our goal is to reach and help as many undergraduate students as possible through a difficult academic year. Move on to the next slide. All right, so just a quick little overview of what we're going to be discussing in the budget meeting. So we have a projected revenue decrease due to closure of businesses, and also maybe even like student fees and enrollments, whether students stay here for the whole year versus not. So last year we did have the Student Choice Initiative, which was our biggest challenge to date in terms of finances and probably for all of the students in general. Although the positive end of that was that since we were very prepared for student choice and that we did prepare our kind of like finances properly, now we're in a strong position to face yet another difficult year, already being prepared in the past. And advocacy as well is taking a big part in our budget and making sure that we have funds allocated towards that aspect of our roles as a student association. Note, this budget is a presentation of the operating budget. So again, this is just the ins and outs of CUSA. Again, for any like the nitty gritty, like super specifics, feel free to follow with myself or Travis. So 2020-21 key strategic focuses. Despite a projected revenue loss, we anticipate a balanced year due to the following factors. Again, the Student Choice Initiative, we deeply analyzed a lot of our spending and critically saw where money should be spent versus where money shouldn't be spent. This led to the renegotiation contracts, suppliers, streamlining processes with the goal to help as many students and also our staff as possible. This approach did not affect student employment, but it did change a bit of our internal structure with full-time staff. But we'll still be able to provide the same, if not more, services to students in the last year with these cuts. As a result, CUSA is more agile and can respond better to financial challenges and its model. So continuing with the student-centric approach, we've developed a year with a lot of programming. While COVID-19 has presented quite a few road bumps for us, we do feel that with the budget and the way we've laid it out and the plans we have for the year, that we are still maintaining the goal of providing students that same experience coming to university, and even those that have been here for a few years, to make sure that this year is just not a throwaway, right? Like, we want to make sure that students are getting the most that they can no matter what year they are. So we have several advocacy themes planned within CUSA's budget, and also just like throughout. We have a $40,000 fund directed to help students in need during the pandemic. So that is the emergency relief fund that you may have heard us talk about during elections. So we are providing $40,000 as a way to help students who are most financially at risk, and to help them, again, make education a little bit more accessible. We also have a new council initiative fund. So another surprise for counselors, there will be $5,000 for council to do whatever you like. If you want to do programming, you could put on like an event like that. We've heard a lot in the past that counselors really just want like more ways to become involved. So we figured, why not give you guys a little bit of money to plan your own thing and give you a chance to have some real impact on your faculties. All right, so down into the nitty gritty a little bit. So we have our revenues. So you can see our 2019, 2020, and then the 2020, 2021 on the right. So various fees, that includes kind of like our revenue from student fees, obviously. 2.7 to 2.9. So the reason why we do have a little bit of a predicted increase there was because of the student choice initiative. So we had 15% of students opt out last year, and comparing that to having all students opt in this year, but also a slight decline in enrollment, we're estimating around 2.9 fees to balance each other out. Clubs and societies. So that's just clubs and societies fee that we collect from students. There's not a whole lot changing there. Our businesses have definitely taken a significant reduction in revenue, but that'll also show for in expenses. Again, with us being able to open in extremely limited capacities compared to before COVID, these numbers reflect conversations with myself, Travis, and the businessman on how we think we're going to proceed and what kind of revenue we think these businesses will bring in. Does anybody have any questions for this page? Awesome, you can move on to the next one. So we have some expenses here. So these numbers jump around a little bit. As you can tell, since we've done budget presentation a little bit different, that also means on the back end we have some things going on a little bit differently. So you can see, for example, building operations from 373 to 450. So that involves moving some salaries around within our full-time staff breakdown. So while some areas you see a huge decrease in expenses and also an increase, a lot of those larger numbers will be from staff rearrangement, from the hirings that we've also done last year that show up in this year's budget. Programming as well, so I'll point out that one. So that was kind of under our building ops as well. But since we're doing a lot more like live streaming and kind of like online programming as well, that's why that number is also significantly increased, as well as communications, hiring an additional person in there. And again, since we will be fully online, at least for the first semester and likely mostly the second, our kind of like online networking and marketing and all that is going to have an increase as well, so that we can adapt to the environment that we're in. A couple of notables. So rent aggregation effort, we have removed and put rent into kind of like a lump sum fund to kind of show not only students what the university charges us for rent, but to get a better idea of how the businesses perform. Because when you have like $100,000 sinking down the business every year, it doesn't really highlight the positive change that does happen. So that was another reason. So CUSA currently pays $615,000 of rent to the university, and this does not include the $65,000 that we collect as a flow through from for example, the Charlton. So the SCI also trimmed down labor costs and increased programming and communications for students in calendar year. Already covered. All right, and if you have any questions for that slide, feel free to toss them in the chat, but I'll keep motoring along and I'll answer as I see them. So the expenses for the businesses, so Ollie's, again, from 812 to 260, significant jump, significant savings there. Roosters, 802 to 390. A little bit more because, again, we do know that we'll be able to offer or operate Roosters in a bit more of a, not relaxed capacity, but more open and serving for the students. Haven's books as well. You've heard us talk about pivoting Haven's business model approach and working around that. So we're still going to be going forward with that. But again, we do see a significant drop in textbook sales over the last even 3 years. So it just doesn't make sense to keep selling physical textbooks, primarily when students aren't there to purchase them. And the wing as well. So those expenses are mostly the rent we pay for the space because we are not going to have the wing open for this academic year. And if there's no questions, we'll move on to the next one. So these are the executive budgets. So these are the expenses. So you can note the 12.1 decrease in executive budget lines this year. Again, trying to cut costs and put money more where it can be utilized in a greater area. So you can see a lot of these as well that I think gets overlooked in the executive budgets is, for example, like phone lines in each executive office is in there. So if you're wondering like, oh, like why are some of these like so expensive? That's a big reason why is that there are overhead costs that for our back end in terms of the finance office, they get lumped under the executive budget. So for example, I have a lot of administrative salaries under my budget, hence why mine is 276,000. But again, you can still see a decrease throughout. So if anybody has questions on those, feel free to toss them in the chat. We'll keep moving on. I think everyone's had a chance to look over these. All right, so we got the service centers. So what you will note in the service centers, while executives took a 12% decrease, service centers had a 20% increase in better efforts to help support kind of like this COVID reality and make sure that we can still provide not only programming, but also connections and support for students that do use those service centers. I'll just give everyone a chance to look over there. I will note as well that what is not listed in here is Foot Patrol, and that's at the end of the slides. And we also have Liam from Foot Patrol here to answer any questions in regards to their budget as well, if anybody has any. But with that, we will move forward. So council, so, you know, very similar numbers here, a little bit of a decrease, and this actually includes the additional $5,000 that we added as a council initiative fund that was not present previously. Elections are staying relatively the same. A lot of those costs are for, again, the structural and kind of like the back end of CEO, DEO, and all those things. As well as clubs and societies increasing a little bit. And the reason that increases as well is, again, a staffing rearrangement under that budget line. So, but we do expect club societies revenue to return to above or to prior SCI level, still considering that there might be a slight decline in enrollment. And we did have a couple council savings as well. And we can move on to the next one. And this is Foot Patrol, so I can briefly just read over it, but if anybody has questions, I'm sure Liam would be happy to chime in. Revenue, 88,000, expenses, 88,000, pretty easy, pretty simple. Foot Patrol does have to budget for net zero, so you can see there they've done that pretty well. And again, that this is their own levy from when Student Choice Initiative was implemented. Their fee was separated as a mandatory fee, and all their revenue or excess funds that they have from the prior year go right back into Foot Patrol. So you can see here these reflections, and if anybody has questions, just toss them in the chat, and I'm sure Liam would be happy to answer. And to the final slide, that wraps things up. If anybody has any questions, I hope for those of you that have been on council for multiple years, this budget is a little bit more fruitful for you, a little more digestible to understand for those people that don't really get into the nitty gritty of the finances. As always, any additional questions, you feel free to contact myself or Travis, and we'd be happy to chat.
All right, thanks, Jacob. They're like 20 seconds, but it seems like everyone's on the same page here.
There was one thing I should have honestly mentioned in CUSA Council is that the Financial Review Committee did meet to review this budget and the numbers, and they all voted in support of presenting this budget to Council as well.
Perfect, okay. All right, so if there's no questions, then we're going to move into the motion to adopt the 2020-2021 CUSA budget. So whereas bylaw 4.1 and A states the Vice President of Finance shall be responsible for the presentation to the Student Council of a budget detailing the appropriation of the corporation's monies no later than September 1st. Whereas bylaw 4.1B states the Vice President of Finance shall be responsible to Students' Council for the disbursement of the corporation's monies in accordance with the budget ratified by Council. Information transfer be resolved that CUSA Council adopts the 2020-2021 operating budget. Moved by Jacob Howell, seconded by Farouk. I believe the last 10 minutes has been motivating, but Jacob, would you like to motivate the motion?
Yeah, I mean, this is the final thing for the night. Something else we got to get past. It's been a labor of love and passion, I guess. I do want to give a special shout out to Travis, who's been a huge help in both my years in terms of, so I know he's been pretty quiet over there, but there's a lot of things around CUSA that would not happen without Travis, and also our full-time staff in general. So I just want to take this opportunity to give a big thanks to them and some recognition for our full-time staff. Exactly, yes. Thank you, Travis. So maybe we'll do a little next CUSA video, you get to meet our full-time staff. You can see behind the scenes.
Okay, great. So without further ado, motion to adopt the 2020-2021 CUSA budget. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, motion passes. Okay, moving on to any business arising. I'm assuming, is this just anyone, or is this for the execs to report anything in terms of the corporation itself?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted about corporation.
Okay, seeing none, then all right, we're gonna motion to adjourn. I need a motion. Okay, thank you, Musab. Need a seconder. Thank you, Halima. All in favor to adjourn CUSA Inc. Council? Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, that's it, folks. Thanks for bearing with me. Hope it wasn't too rough.
Thank you, Matt.
I'll be back to Grumpy Ryan there next month, so don't worry about it.
Matt, thank you.
Shout out to Matt for taking over as well. It's not an easy feat taking on council chair at the meeting. Unfortunate circumstances, but Matt, you did a great job, so shout out to Matt.
Well done, Matt. Thanks for stepping up.
Thank you, thank you. All right, have a good